I live in Colorado, and so when I was up in Brazov, I love the mountains up there, and I thought I wanted people to see in the great ski slopes. I was so impressed, and going into the countryside and seeing people on pulling wagons and pulling large cords of wood, and their children riding on top, and young people being shepherds out in the field. It's not like that in America, but I had a lot of pride looking at young people who knew how to work and probably have worked all their life. We began to have a lot of empathy for Romanians, you know, that they needed their own independence, that they should be not like us as Americans, but why can't they enjoy the same freedoms that we did? And so, you know, young Americans were confused by, you know, Americans have always grown up with a level of freedom. They've never had anybody be able to tell them what they could or couldn't do. And so for us, it was a harsh education to understand that people are not free all over the world. I think that people understand the courage that's already occurred here, that when you take your country back, we had to do that in America. We did it about, you know, God, you know, over 200 years ago. And you guys took your country back just over 20 years ago. And there's a lot of courage to that. And there was a lot of reasons that people thought that would never be possible. And you proved to yourselves, more importantly, and to the rest of the world, that you will have your independence, that your day is today. And, you know, I think it's really important that countries never forget their past. I mean, you want to run away from the things that you felt held you down, the things that that hurt you, you know, and hurt your reputation, whatever it is. You want to run away from those things, but that's also a part of you, and it tells you that you never want to go to that place again, and you will not allow it. And your country, it's an example of what people know when they're not free, that they're going to be free, and the courage that it takes to do that is something that that is to be admired. And you know, I hope that you hold on to the traditions, but that listen, you're a strong country, and you're going to get stronger.
What do you tell your wife, your children, about Romania?
What makes a place beautiful usually is the people, and Romania is no exception. You know, the first introduction to Romania is the Olympics for an American. And that's, I think, what makes the Olympics so important in life, is that young people who watch that, they suddenly start to hear the names of these countries, and then the great athletes that come from there. And so, you know, we all fell in love with Nadia, you know, and although Olga Korbut wasn't from this country, those two really kind of highlighted gymnastics for the rest of us. I was young, I was a teenager. And I was thrilled, and so then I understood in the Winter Olympics how could this little country be so much better than America, because all the people here ski and they are beautiful skiers. But when you're an American, you have this big country and you think, we should be the best in this, but we're not. And so these countries in the Olympics, your country, began to be highlighted for us. So that's how I first saw Romania.
Did they ask something about this country or not?
The littlest ones don't, but my 3 oldest children are coming tomorrow. They're 27, 25, and 23, and so they're anxious to come here. And so they'll be with me, and they'll begin to explore Romania, and then they'll put on their packs and they'll go someplace else. So I told them it's beautiful, that's why they're coming.
Tell me something about your children, because you have 7 children. And the little one is almost the same age with mine.
You're right. Well, my children are very loud. They play really hard. They make a lot of noise, and they think the world revolves around them. And it does, pretty much. I mean, my 3 littlest ones are 4, 2.5, and 1.5. And in the morning, the 4-year-old gets the littlest one her milk, takes it to her crib, and then gets in the crib with her, and then my other boy gets in the crib. So all 3 of them will be in the crib together, and so you can see they're going to be very, very close, that they have a real need for each other. But my children are like everybody else's children. You love them, and then sometimes you just want them to be more quiet.
But you work a lot, you travel a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have time to see them, to play with them?
Normally my children are with me. This is the first time they've never been with me. So I'm around my children much more than, let's say, even the average working man, because when I go to work, they're with me. When I come home, they're with me when I make a movie, except here in Romania. This is the only difference. And so most men don't get that opportunity to have their children around them while they're working. And I do, and I have with all of my children. So my children grew up on sets, so they understand the trucks, the lights, the cameras.
How many weeks are you staying in Romania, and what is your schedule here?
I've been here 2 months. We work 6 days a week, and so most people think, well, how much of the country have you been able to see? Very little, simply because it's an illusion when you go to a country that you're going to be able to enjoy it, at least if you're a lead actor. There's a lot of actors on this show that they work 20 days and have 30 days off. So they're the ones that are traveling. They're the ones that are going to all 4 corners of Romania. They're the ones that are even going into other countries. I don't have that luxury. My day starts early and it ends late.
I saw you twice at 2 concerts in Bucharest.
That's been kind of my big recreational moves, which was to go to those 2 concerts, and they were really right across the street. It's really not so glamorous. It really isn't. At least it hasn't been for me.
So I'll say action.
Do I kind of mind that it's coming hard?
Yeah. I'm gonna get a shot in while I'm running.
Okay, let's try this one more time, please. The people have been very kind to me. I was able to play music here a year ago. I hope to come back and play some more rock and roll concerts.
Yes, you have a band.
Yeah, we have a band.
And 3 albums already.
We play really loud and really cool, and
I like rock.
and we fill up the room with noise. So I'd love to come back and play.
But there is such a big difference between acting and playing on a stage.
There's a huge difference.
With thousands of people in front of you.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, what I like about live is the drama, because that means something can go wrong. If you didn't think anything could ever go wrong, then there's no drama, right? Drama is when you don't know what's going to happen. And that's what I love about playing. And a lot of times the audience looks at me with great curiosity, and I look back at them with the same. And then I just hit a big A chord, and away we go. I walk by myself. I get a bike sometimes and I ride around. I obviously...
You ride a bike in the Bucharest?
Yeah.
You did this?
Yeah.
On the street?
On the street.
Come on.
I just pick up and go. I don't really, even in my life with my children, I have never traveled with, bodyguards or that kind of thing. I always do. I go where I want to go. And
because you are the bodyguard.
People,
aren't you?
But people are good to me. If anyone was ever kind of rude to me on some level, there's usually 5 or 6 people that would stand up and say, why are you doing that? He's not doing anything to you. So I'm really comfortable walking amongst people. I never actually think of myself as famous. It's only when somebody else brings it up that I remember, oh yeah, I'm an actor.
You are famous. You are Kevin Costner. For my viewers, maybe for our viewers, maybe you have everything in the world. People look up to you. Many actors want to be one day as famous as you are. But my question is, do you miss something? Is there something undone in your life? Something that you wish to have?
That's undone. I can't say that there is. Like I said, I've lived a really full life. I have, if someone has a dream, if someone has a wish, I have one. And my wish is that I raise my children. I have 3 little children right now. I also have 3 older children. And so if I was going to ask God for something, what I would ask him for is let me be the one that raises my children. So I'm basically saying I want the years not to do more movies, not to be more famous, not to make more money. What I'm asking God for is let me be the one to watch my children go off to college knowing that I've taught them right and wrong. I've showed them the world, that I've given them my best impression about how to live their life, that I want the privilege of being that person. I don't want that to fall to someone else. In my life, I don't need any more attention. I've had attention of a lifetime, but I don't need it to do my work. I don't need it to understand my friendships or who my friends are. Fame is a very interesting subject, and there's so many people that would like it, and I understand that, and I try not to think about it too much. I try not to think too much about me, because there's too much Kevin already. Kevin this, Kevin that, Kevin this. I know I don't need any more fame. I like what I do, and I hope in my life that when I decide that I don't want to make movies, I won't make them.
The Hafields McCoys is a story about 2 gentlemen who were friends and comrades in the Civil War, and then through the tragic turn of events, their families and the betrayals that people feel all of a sudden became enemies, and it got to the point where it became the greatest blood feud in our sad American history. Over 13 or 14 people in the families died, maybe 70 people died through the course of this 30-year feud. And the Hafields McCoys has become known as an expression of just 2 people who hate each other, and it's retribution and the cycle of violence that never ends. And I'm hoping by telling the story, it can give a perspective to all of us to say, stop it. Nobody wins. Everybody wanted to know, who's the good guy? Is it Hatfield? Is it McCoy? Is it Kevin Costner? Is it Bill Paxton? And the sad truth is they were both right and they were both wrong. I like Romania, and I made a movie here about 5 years ago. Had a wonderful experience. I like the people. I worked with Castel Studios, and I found that Castel has a real passion to make movies that what we would call American Hollywood quality. And that's hard to find around the world. Coming to Romania, we went up to the mountains where they looked like where the movie took place, West Virginia, Kentucky. They shot a movie here many years ago called Cold Mountain. And it took place in the same era and the same time frame. So we figured that coming to Romania would be a great opportunity to capture the look that we have, that we share as sister countries in the texture of the film, and also at the same time give us the ability to get a great quality production that would make the film feel like it's a great American production, even though it's Romanian production.
Stop!
This is a movie that probably should have been shot in America, in Kentucky and West Virginia, actually anywhere along the East Coast, but the economics being what they are, Romania has been very smart in attracting films to come here, knowing that they're getting more and more expensive. And so films that don't have, let's say, a lot of money, what happens is Romania becomes a really wonderful place to go. And so there are films that might not be made were it not for this option. In Europe, in Bucharest, in all these other places I've been up north, the the architecture, the villages that have been there from the 1300s, from the 1500s.
We have very, very old.
Unbelievable. But America, we have none of those buildings. The people that lived in America for thousands of years, the same as here, lived in tents. So everything was very light on the ground. It's so much more different here.
But you recovered.
Yeah, we did. We did. You've been really brave because it's really cold out here. I should give you my coat.
And isn't it too cold for your movie?
No, and we always manage to act like it's warm. We're good actors. Who settled America? Romanians did. Italians did.
Italians, yes. Many Italians.
Europe. America was built by the Europeans. And you should never forget that. All the craftsmen came from here. They came from your country. They came from Soviet Union. They came from Scandinavia. I mean, people maybe don't realize that, but it's the truth. America, modern America, is only from like the 1900s on. Come on, yeah. That's like not even 120 years ago, and everything was dirt. And it was, you know, America built like a rocket. It went very quickly because all the people that came from here, they had a desire to work and they had a desire to make a life that they didn't have here. You have to keep in mind this is early America, and America, unlike Europe, had very little buildings. You know, America really, up until like 150 years ago, was like the Garden of Eden. If you think about it, in America, we had places where you'd see 90 million buffalo. There's stories in the American West that wagon trains, you've always seen the wagon trains, that wagon trains that were headed out west sometimes would stop for 8 days, waiting for a herd of buffalo to go by. The animal life in America was so prolific, it was so large that it was really the Garden of Eden.
I understood you ride a horse here, and this is dangerous to ride a full gallop.
Yeah, well,
aren't you afraid?
I understand what can go wrong. I'm very American in some ways, and I don't think most people think of me as the cowboy in America. And so when I'm on a horse, I think probably that's when I think people somehow just smile when they see me on a horse with a gun, that in some way that feels like home to them. And make no mistake, I love playing in American Westerns, and I think everybody should be able to try to get the girl.
Stop.
There's a chance to fall, but there's also a chance to look cool. And I think anybody worth their salt that wants to be in a Western has a desire to ride the horse, and I do too. So I feel like when I ride, I put the audience closer to the movie, and I put them inside the movie. So when they see this movie, Hafields McCoys, me riding, they'll know it's me.
Along with Warren Beatty, Clint Eastwood, Mel Gibson, Richard Attenborough, and Robert Redford, you are one of the 6 people to win an Academy Award for Best Directing. And though you are mainly known as an actor, you have a successful career in acting. Do you feel like you need something more?
I don't think I need more. I think I just want to try to stay interested in my life. I want to stay relevant to the people that see the movies that I'm in, right? I want to be relevant to someone I'm talking to. My life is more than the movies. I love technology. I invest in it. I try to clean up oil spills around the world. And so my life has been really very lucky, I think. You know, I have almost anything I've tried to dream to do, I've been able to do it with the right amount of luck and the right amount of work. But I've had it's not like I had a life where I haven't been bruised, because you've been bruised, right? I think most people looking at you would think, boy, she's really successful. Look at what she's accomplished, and that would be the truth. But if people don't look really close at you, they won't understand the work that you put in to do it, the work you put in to stay current, and they shouldn't ever perceive that your life is perfect, because it's not. Life isn't perfect, and all we do is the best we can. And I think the best thing to do is not live someone else's life. Don't live my life, live yours.
You know, we have a joke that it is supposed to be the end of the world in 2012. So if you want to escape, come to Romania, because we are 50 years back.
That's funny. You know, listen, if I could wish anything for people that are watching, is for them to travel, to get a chance to come to our country, to go to other countries. I mean, we live this life, we work hard, we raise our kids, and we think, what is there for us? And I hope, if you have a chance, that you send your children, that you travel and you see places and you take advantage of this time when you're on the earth.